You ever went to the salon and you was like, you had like this energy where your stylist made you feel like what you gonna do for them since they doing your hair type of attitude? I was thinking about that the other day because I had went somewhere and out with a friend, and we were talking about, she had a visit at the salon and she was telling me all of the stuff that she does. Now, this is a different situation because it is okay to love your hairstylist. You know, you build relationships with those people, with the women and the men, right? Your hairstylist, you go to them for years and years, and you have that rapport with them. So it's like, girl, you need some coffee. You know, it's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of you don't have, in this generation or in 2025, a lot of you don't have that type of relationship with your hairstylist because unfortunately we you guys are more like an assembly line, lace fronts, doom doom doom, hair extensions, doom doom doom, so everything is kind of like they don't even have time to have a great relationship with you guys because a lot of times it's a high volume of overturn where people will come in to the salons now and they don't stay because for whatever the reason is, the customer service is bad, the prices was too high. We got a whole bunch of videos and a whole bunch of comments where you guys have commented on the unhappiness that you have with the salon. So you can definitely check those out. So a lot of you don't get to have those type of relationships, but I wanted to say to you that it is not your job to please the hairstylist. In our business as hairstylists, we give service, and we're supposed to give excellent service to our clients. Because as I always tell you, and I always thought about it when I was in the salon, that my clients have driven, let me say this. I didn't do hair in Miami. And I went to school in Miami. I did hair in Miami when I was coming close to no longer working in the salon. So that was like years after. So I can say that, but I do know, and I thought about it because when I lived in Miami or went to the salon, we have on what we call, they don't call it Deuce Deuce no more, but 22nd Ave in Miami. It's if you start way back from Liberty City, all the way coming down to Carroll City, it is like 100 churches, I counted. And it's a whole bunch of salons. And so I'm talking about this because a lot of times you don't realize it. And even when I lived in Orlando and I lived in North Carolina, my clients drove from past all these salons, heard all the good news about somebody that can slay this kind of hair and do this kind of work or whatever. And they said, nope, I'm going to stick with Lee. And a lot of times you guys don't realize how much that is a blessing because you're helping putting food on our table. You're helping us pay car notes and house notes and sending our kids to college, you know what I mean? And setting up retirement because it's a business. But a lot of times, my friend and I was talking about it, I was like, yeah, Chad, it's like, they do be coming in like the newbies, they're coming in, they be like, trying to make the stylist feel comfortable. And that's not your job. Your job is to come in and to be pampered and to be taken care of and leave all of the cares in the world that you deal with at home or that you deal with at work or that you deal with in your churches and different things like that. You're supposed to be able to leave those behind. And when you step into our world, we're supposed to lay the red carpet out for you because you could have went to anybody, but you decided to come to us. So the mindset of the hairstylist has to be that. Unfortunately, in 2025, we have the mindset where the hairstylist feels like they are the celebs. You don't keep me waiting. It's kind of like, when you see the celebs, you go to the concert, and they got you waiting for an hour and you're like, I done paid my money, and you upset about it. You're an hour, 2 hours, and the person that's supposed to do the show, that the celebrity, right, that's supposed to do the show, They walk out there and say, sorry, y'all, I had some, issues, and they go singing their songs. Now you feel, it done left a bad taste in your mouth, right? That's how you should feel when you come to the salon. If you come into a salon and you come into your hairstylist, whether it's a salon at their home, and they're late, But if you're late, you get charged a fee, right? A late fee. But if they're late, you just got to understand. And you be like, okay, no problem. 30 minutes late, no problem. 15 minutes. And they coming in with food in their hand and stuff like that. You shouldn't be saying, oh, girl, I understand whatever. No. My time is of value as your time is. That's why you put a price on it if I'm late. So you shouldn't have the mindset of, things happen. She got kids and this and that. That's not my problem. That has nothing to do with me. When you show up here to work, your job is to have a best attitude and to be able to ready to service me. And so I wanted to bring that out because a lot of you, for whatever reason, you treat the hairstylist as if they're doing you a favor. And in actuality, you are the blessing to us, right? So whatever the situation is, if you can't sit down and ask them about your hair or ask them about the products, and you're asking like, oh, girl, what? You scared to do those different things, and I talked about that in another video, then that's a problem. And you're the one that's enabling that person. So it is your job to set the tone and to make sure that when you enter into any form of business where there's a transaction going on financially or whatnot, they need to know who. You don't have to be nasty and make them feel like they beneath you. No. Or they, service me. Not that attitude. But they need to be in a place where you're respected, they're respected. But understand the fact that you're both doing each other. You're both blessing each other. She's blessing you with the gift, the hairstylist, and you're blessing her with the money and the accolades and thanking them for, giving you the best service and being pampered and things like that. So anything outside of that, don't feel you shouldn't be taking a hairstylist's bad attitude. If she has a bad attitude, or if you sit in a chair, she doesn't want to speak to you, you shouldn't be giving them your money. You shouldn't be doing any of that. If they're not willing to do a consultation because you're new, you shouldn't take on the mindset again that they're doing you a favor. That is a part of their job. And if you're going into places like that and you're going to a salon, or whether it's the hairstylist or just a place of business, if I come into a place of business, I don't care what it is, and I feel disrespected, or I don't feel like I'm getting the service that I need, then I'm done with it. I don't give them my money. And a lot of you treat the hairstylists like they are the celebs or whatever. And that's why we have now today so many of you on YouTube, on TikTok and social media complaining about the attitude of the hairstylists and how funky they are and how nasty they are to you, and how they give you bad practices and bad services. Well, technically, to be honest, you have to hold yourself accountable. So when you deal with a person and you're talking about something as intimate as them putting their hands in your hair and being that close to you, you need to set the tone and be able to speak to them in a manner where they understand, okay, yes, okay, listen, this is what I would like, such and such and such. This is how it should go. This is how the conversation should go. Hi, how you doing? Girl, I've heard great things about you. This is my first time here. I am nervous. This is what I want. You showed them the photos or whatever. Can you look at the state of my hair and tell me if my hair can even take that type of hairstyle? And also, can you kind of run by me what products you use and different things like that? That should be what it is. Girl, thank you so much for being here on time, girl. Because, girl, I have a lot of things I have to do. So, I put a lot of value in my time. So thank you so much for that. Thank them. But never come into any type of business and make that person feel like they're doing you a favor. No. You're doing them a favor. I pray that this video helps you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in. If you had any bad experiences, Y'all go ahead and put the comments in. Y'all know I will respond. I try to respond if it's not too many. And thank you for liking and sharing this video with others. I will see you next video. Bye.